devotional plays, and between 1985 and 1995 he was the temple president at Toronto, where he took his vows of sannyas in 1984. He is an instructor in Bhakti Yoga, Mantra meditation, Kirtan and interactive dance. He is widely known for his passion for the performing arts. He has taken an active role in writing and directing morality theatrical productions that are presented all over the world. Productions scripted and directed by him are as follows. I won't read all that. There's a huge list of dramas that Maharaj has personally written, scripted and directed. He also directed many ISKCON classics like The Boatman, The Big Fish, The Little Fish, The Age of Kali. Maharaj is especially known for his sannyas initiated name is Bhaktimarga Swami, and Maharaj is known for his walks all around Canada. Maharaj takes a small bag, very small bag, and he simply walks from one temple to another temple, and he simply covered much of the North American continent walking. He has trekked across Ireland, Fiji Islands, Mauritius, Trinidad, Guyana, Israel and the United States. He began his fourth cross-Canada trek in the autumn of 2011. Maharaj also served as the GBC. When he was serving as GBC, he was representing Canada and Cuba, and he also was part of many core committees of GBC. Maharaj has also written a few books. We will have the display of the books outside. The table is being set up there behind. So please have a look at the books. Every time when I go to Mayapur during the Gaur Purnima festivals, I look forward. Maharaj especially does beautiful dramas and skits with a huge group of his disciples and his followers. And generally that happens at the Prabhupada auditorium, right? Just below Prabhupada Samadhi. So an entire Mayapur throngs for it to watch it, and you will not get a space, not even a single inch empty, because those dramas and skits are so beautiful. So let us welcome His Holiness Bhaktimarga Swami Maharaj at ISKCON BCEC by once chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Your name? Finished by 9. Okay. Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Giridharidhari Oh Gopi Janna Vallabha Giridharidhari Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamunathira Vanachari Yamunathira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Giridharidhari Gopi Janavallabha Giravaradhariya Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunathira Vanacharya Yamunathira Vanacharya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihariya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihariya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihariya Up, up, down, down, up, up, down. Sideways. And up, up, down, down, up. Sideways. And all around. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Srila Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna. I understand we're doing Canto 3 of Srimad Bhagavatam, and it's chapter 8, Manifestation of Brahma from Garbhodaksha Vishnu. And it's text number 8. But the main focus is 9. Is that correct? So can we just do the English for this one? Okay. The great sage Sankhya was the chief amongst the transcendentalists. And when he was describing the glories of the Lord in terms of Srimad Bhagavatam, it so happened that my spiritual master, Parashara, and Brihaspati both heard him. Shall we repeat that? The great sage Sankhya was the chief amongst the transcendentalists. And when he was describing the glories of the Lord in terms of Srimad Bhagavatam, it so happened that my spiritual master, Parashara, and Brihaspati both heard him. Everyone's okay now? Cool. Text number 9. Pravachamayang sa dayalurukto Muni pulastina puranang adyam Sohang tavaitat katayami vatsa Shadhailave nityang anuvrataya Achamayang
Muni Pulastyena Puranamadhyam Soham Tavaitat Kathayami Vatsa Shraddha Lave Nityam Anuvrataya
Provachamayam Sadayanurukto Muni Pulastena Puranamadhyam Soham Tavaitat Kathayami Vatsa Shraddha Lave Nityam Anuvrataya.
Someone else who doesn't usually get a chance. Volunteer. Vaishnavis. Katayami vatsa Nityam anuvrataya
Provachamayam sadayalurukto Muni pulatsena puranamadhyam Soham tavaitat kathayami vatsa Shraddha lave nityam anuvrataya
Pravacha said, Mayam unto me, Saha he, Dalayuhu kind-hearted, Uktaha aforementioned, Munihi sage, Pulastyena by the sage Pulastya, Puranam Adyam the foremost of all the Puranas. Sa ahyam aham. That also I, Tava, unto you, Etat, this, Katayami, shall speak, Vatsa, my dear son, Shradhalavi, unto one who is faithful, Nityam, always, Anuvrataya, unto one who is a follower. Translation. The great sage Parashara as aforementioned, being so advised by the great sage Pulasthya, spoke unto me the foremost of the Puranas, Bhagavatam. I shall also describe this before you, my dear son, in terms of my hearing, because you are always my faithful follower. Please repeat, or in French, répétez s'il vous plaît. The great sage Parashara, as aforementioned, being so advised by the great sage Pulasthya, spoke unto me the foremost of the Puranas, Bhagavatam. I shall also describe this before you, my dear son, in terms of my hearing, because you are always my faithful follower. Purport, don't show it. I'm going to charade it out. You have to guess the words. Okay? Don't look. All right. The great sage of the name Pulasthya is the father of all demoniac descendants. Once upon a time, you could say the end. Once upon a time, Parashara began a swaha sacrifice in which all the demons were to be burned to death. Because his father had been killed and devoured by one of them. The great sage Vasishta Muni arrived at the sacrifice and requested Parashara to stop the deadly action. And because of Vasishta's position and respect in the community of sages, Parashara could not deny the request. Parashara having stopped the Pulasthya, the father of the demons, appreciated his Brahminical temperament and gave the blessing that in the future he would be a great speaker on the Vedic literatures called the Puranas, the supplements of the Vedas. Parashara's action was appreciated by Pulasthya because Parashara had forgiven. Very good. Who said that? Who said forgiven? Pretty good. Okay. So, let's see. Okay. Because Parashara had forgiven the demons out of his Brahminical power of forgiveness. Parashara was able to demolish all the demons in the... But he considered demons are so made that they devour living creatures, men and animals. But why, on that account, should I withdraw my Brahminical qualifications of forgiveness? As the great speaker of the Puranas, Parashara first of all spoke on the Srimad Bhagavat Purana, because it is the foremost of all the Puranas. Maitreya Muni desired to narrate the same Bhagavatam he had heard from Parashara, and Vidura was qualified to hear it because of his faithfulness. Who said faithfulness? And is following the instructions received from superiors. So Srimad Bhagavatam was being narrated from immemorial. Very good. Who said that? Everybody. Immemorial. By the disciplic succession, right? Okay. Even before the of Vyasadeva. The so-called historians calculate the Puranas to be, what is this? Only. The so-called historians calculate the Puranas to be only a few hundred years old. But factually, the Puranas existed from immemorial. For all historical calculations by the mundaners and speculative philosophers. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for helping me with the purport. But I think what really needs to be highlighted is that the Bhagavatam, amongst all literatures, is to be reigning as supreme. And that comes through in the narrative of Vyasadeva, who was not feeling satisfied. He was not fulfilled enough. After he did the great work of compiling the Vedas, he still didn't feel it was good enough. I think we all have that feeling sometime, okay? We're chanting Hare Krishna. We are members of the Hare Krishna movement. We're chanting Hare Krishna all the time. And even though we've chanted, we've done our 16 rounds, do we feel very fulfilled after? I've never heard anyone say after doing 16 rounds, Haribol. In fact, because of our performance level, we feel I could have done better, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that. That little push inside, that little gnawing inside, like a little rat eating at something, you know, should always be there. I've never done good enough. There's room for improvement, you know? And when you're in a big palace or something like that, which has lots of rooms in it, the best room is the room for improvement, right? Yeah, so when it comes to the Bhagavatam, what's so special about it? You know, people may ask. Well, it delivers the narratives or narrations about all the Das-avatar and more, you know? You know, all throughout India, our culture, everybody loves to dwell on the Das-avatar, you know, and there's more. There's at least a list of over 20 in the Bhagavatam, and then in first canto it mentions there's like thousands, you know, as there are waves on an ocean. Now, I'm from Canada. I travel a lot across Canada, and there's one lake in the middle of the country. It's called Lake Superior, and it was one hot summer day. And the sand was so hot you couldn't walk on it. The water is so cold you could not be in it. But anyways, I stood there on the beach and I started to understand what is meant in the words from the Bhagavatam where it says, the avatars, the incarnations of the Lord are unlimited like waves on an ocean. Now this is a lake. It's a great lake. But still, I was trying to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you almost get hypnotized after a while. Oh boy, I can't keep this up. Just to give us an idea how many times the Lord has appeared. So at least, you know, a few highlights are given. You can't mention everybody. Just like one of my favorite verses from the Bhagavad Gita is Vidyavanaya Sampane Brahmane Gavaschini Shuni Chaiva Shwapakacha Pandita Samadarshina. So there are examples of 5 beings, entities that we can look at that are to be seen as different, simultaneously, different, but at the same as well. A very perfect example of Achincha Bheda Bheda Tattva. And what are those examples? Like a pundit is supposed to see a Brahmin and well, I know, but the other human, the other human, Swapacha, right? A dog eater. They're the same, very different range. One is very refined, the other one unrefined, but still everyone contributes something. So you have to see the spirit behind them. What else is given? A very intelligent animal is, you mentioned the cow. Sorry, I didn't have any garlands to, I didn't have any left. The cow, okay, Gavi, right? And then there's also the Hastini, and then there's the Shuni, the dog. Only 5 examples are given. Krishna could have given so many more examples, but we're just trying to be very practical. So we hear about different avatars, different incarnations of the Lord, but to be very practical, 10 are given, sometimes a little like times 2, 20. So, but the point is that the Bhagavatam contains the story of all these great animals and what creatures, and they're wonderful. So I was raised on a farm, and we had chickens, and we had pheasants, we had peacocks, we had pigs, we had cows, we had a pony, we had a goat, we even had a raccoon in the barn, and a few bugs. And my attitude towards pigs was not that high, in my estimation. So when I joined the Krishna consciousness movement, and I was hearing about all the different avatars that have come that the Lord has appeared through. Like say, for instance, horse or whatever, the Lord has appeared into a massive fish. I can understand like the blue whale or something like that. And their might and the power behind them. When I heard about God as a pig, it's like, oh my God, really? What kind of religion did I join? A pig. Of course, he's described as being a beautiful pig, and there's supposed to be 2 varahas. One is sort of a reddish tone, one is a white tone, but both of them are supposed to be beautiful. I could never imagine a beautiful pig in my mind. I couldn't come to grips. But the point is, the Bhagavatam has 10 major subject matters, and the incarnations of one. Another one of those is emphasis on the power of sound. The power of the name. And so we have the narration there about Ajamil, and now he's exposed to the name Narayan, naming his son that. And then when he was at the verge of death, he chanted the name of the thing that was closest to his heart. He chanted the name of his son, and then that saved him from the Yamadutas, right? So lots of great stories, lots of great dramas, and you can't have a good drama without having some conflict, right? So in that regards, each and every one of us is a good drama because we all have conflicts within. We all have a storm inside. Have you noticed? The mental storm? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, there's a storm inside every day of our life. So every day there's a new production, and it's a drama. And it only becomes a good drama when you fight the little demons inside, right? Then it becomes interesting, There's a lot of people interested these days in the paranormal, the evil elements out there, the demons out there. Well, we have them inside. In Canada, they do a circus now. It's called the Paranormal Circus. They take it in the summer. They go to different cities. I've never been in one before. I can only imagine. People love to hear about ghosts and evil things, and they pay a lot of money for this. We have our own Rath Yatra going on the same day, and so many people go to the paranormal. Yet we have Jagannath at the same time, and maybe get 4,000 people in this one little city, 100,000 people. Not bad, actually, But there's so much interest in what's evil and what's dark. Have you noticed? And And therefore, we should take interest in ourselves because there's a lot of evil inside of us, right? In fact, if we're all holy and pure, we're kind of boring, right? Sometimes when we do dramas, and I try to get volunteers, and I said, I'm looking for a role for people who will play the part of saints and demons, you know? And guess what? Everyone's, I want to be a demon. I want to be a demon. And this is for the adults and the kids, you know? Everybody's interested in what's dark and what's dreary and what's evil, you know? So anyways, when it comes to that, the Bhagavatam tells of good dramas, good theatrics, things that are positive, things that are negative. Oh, you want me to throw more when people... I was wondering what all the fuss was about. I was getting so distracted here. So don't distract me. There you go, and here's another one. You know, so life is full of dramas, and you know, sometimes spiritual life can be very much on the even level, you know, and it can be a little bit bland, if I can use that term. So you look for some excitement, then you get riled up about something. And it could even be within the culture of our devotees, you know. Somebody takes a position that you're not happy about, social, political position you're not happy about. Oh, how dare, you know, you get all excited. And I said, well, suddenly I woke up, but before that I was sleeping, you know. So there has to be some excitement. The beautiful thing about kirtan, it's like a self-imposed exciting moment, you know? And if you are in a kirtan and it's just kind of bland and you're not doing anything and you're standing like a pillar, you know, when I see people just standing in kirtan, I said, excuse me, Prabhu, this building is very strong. It already has lots of pillars. We don't need you to stand there and hold it up. So... there's something exciting in these absolute stories. You won't find anything like it. Like say, for instance, creation. The Bhagavatam unfolds what creation is about. It's one of the subjects. First, primary creation, secondary creation, and involves Brahma and the various manifestations of Vishnu. It's so exciting, you know? Now, when you ask people of other different faith groups, tell me a little bit about your story of creation. Well, it was dark, and somebody turned on a switch, and then the sun came on, and that was it. And some people, they say, or there are 7 days of, you know, and then they had 6 days. Everyone worked very hard to get the creation together, and then they needed a rest. So that's called Sunday, you know. Sunday is fun day. We do have, like in North America, we have some of our indigenous people, they have stories about a great tortoise, you know. He was involved in creation. It leads you to believe that maybe they got their ideas from the Puranas, from the Bhagavatam, you know, like that. I mean, the other day, I was talking to some devotees, and I was in a Catholic country, it was France, and I said, where do you think the rosary came from? It came from this. Where do you think this, you know, this marking the, in one particular time in European history, everyone had like a little dot here. Where do you think that came from? What do you think about murtis? Where did they come from? That notion of seeing God through images, you know? What we call this murti archavigraha. Where do you think that came from, you know? What do you think about worship? Here's one thing that some people, they go, you should go to their temple and they worship a plant. They worship plants. You know, like, but then you have the Christmas tree, you know. And, you know, all these ideas, I mean, the Celtic culture, which has a lot of parallels to the culture of India, you know, there is this incredible admiration towards trees. You know, so where do you think everything comes from? It comes from way in good old India, the land of Bharat, right? So all these amazing stories also have their origins, and we can probably trace it back to, yeah, where? where we are now, where we are here in this great land of India. Yeah. So the Bhagavatam is just to be highlighted here. And so Prabhupada brings up the point that there are some disputes, there's some argumentations about time frames and, how old are the Vedas, for instance. And, but we can say is that they've been around for a long time. This also puzzled Arjuna, right? In the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and the Lord says, Imang vivaspati yogang proktaham aham avyavyan. So it's like going back, Krishna spoke this fine science long ago to the sun god Vivaswan to Manu, the father of mankind, Manu to Ikshvaku, and Ikshvaku is one of the great kings in the Raghu dynasty of Ramachandra, So in India, there's a different concept of time, right? And everyone's just trying to figure out. How many times have we heard, Rama's superior because he came first? Wait a minute. What are you talking about? What are you talking about here? Chapter 4, Bhagavad Gita. Have you ever heard about it? And most people, they don't know. How many times have you heard people quote from Bhagavad Gita? Says, what Bhagavad Gita are you talking about? I've never heard that. I've gone over the 700 verses. I don't know what you're talking about. A lot of people like to pose themselves as authorities. Here's another one, nice argument. Everybody loves Ram. He was one of the dearmost, monarchs and amongst the great avatars. So one man a few months ago, he was saying, why always Krishna? He was in one of our temples. Why Krishna? Why not Rama? Well, Prabhu, we do chant Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, like as many times as we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Okay, then I give him something else to think about. Okay, so Krishna spoke of Bhagavad Gita. It's at the philosophical core of our culture, right? Bhagavad Gita, Krishna spoke the science of the self to his devotee, Arjuna, which was meant for everybody, right? And just like when anyone's down, when anyone's depressed, does anybody ever get depressed a little bit? Just a tiny bit? Just a little bit? Like a little bit, then I want you to put it way up there. If I say depressed a lot, then you're not going to. Okay. Then people will, all my friends will think I need some psychological help. But we're all depressed. We're all depressed a little bit. It hits us every day, right? So it was Krishna who took Arjuna from the doldrums and raised up his consciousness, lifted his spirits because he gave him an ultimate pep talk. And then that has been voiced and carried through since time immemorial. So Krishna was around first, So we give credit to Krishna because of his philosophy that no other avatar, I don't remember that Matsya, most fish just go. But I'm sure they have the power, potency to be able to do it, but it's Krishna who spoke the science of the truth to humankind so that we can benefit. So therefore, we give more emphasis to Krishna, right? Now, I could have gone deeper with my arguments to this gentleman, but, I could have said, well, Krishna, there's his childhood pastimes, there's Krishna and the Ras Leela, and, like unique Leela pastimes you're not going to find in any other avatar. But I didn't want to argue with him. He just knew I was going to be arguing, and he didn't want to continue with the argumentation, So I think this is one thing that we can, as a mission, as part of the followers of the Bhagavatam, look at. All the avatars are mentioned here in some detail, but the most detailed is Canto 10. It's all about Krishna, right? Why? He takes preference right in the beginning before you start being a serious student of the Bhagavatam. It's Krishna's stew, Bhagavan Swayam. Do you know what stew is? What a stew is? What is it? Stew? Stew. No, I'm saying like when you go and eat a stew in Western culture, yeah, it's like a soup, right? But it's Krishna stew. So in the stew, you may be different vegetables and different things, in there. Different, you might gobi, you might have, aloo, you may all kinds of things in there, but it's a Krishna stew. That's the thing. It's Krishna stew. So all the different avatars together is like a stew or a khichdi, whatever you want to call it, But it's a Krishna khichdi. That's what it is, So the Bhagavatam starts with Krishna, it ends with Krishna, all these things. So it's our mission or our mandate is to let people know how great this Bhagavatam is. And who set the tone for us is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, When it came to quoting from Shastra, he loved to quote from Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam. Two people like some of the pundits, the scholars like Ramananda Roy, Sanatana Goswami, isn't it? He liked those books. And thanks to Srila Prabhupada, he's actually translated these books for us. Every day we get together, anywhere you go in the world, we all come together and have a class, and we discuss one story from the Bhagavatam. Yeah, and we get enlightened. We feel really good about it. We feel like purged, purified, like we address the demons a little bit. They are good stories. That's why we love to take a story. Like if you give me the space, we can do a drama every day, a new drama here from the Bhagavatam, okay? I just need your time. But do you have the time? No. So therefore, forget that idea. But it's possible. I like when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj had said, in the spiritual realm, there's so much going on. You could write something about the spiritual world every day. There's no limitations, So much can be said about the Bhagavatam, and there's no limit to it. Now, during COVID, we started some, like most of you, we did some Zoom calls, right? And we started some Gita classes. And right in the thick of COVID, when it was the worst time, one devotee called me from Florida, said, maybe we can do a class every week. And I said, okay, let's try that out. And so with the last 4 years or so, we covered the entire Gita, like one verse a week, pretty much. And then I asked everyone, just before we were nearing the end, so what do you want to do now? We want to go through it again. Full circle. So that's the idea, is that there's nothing that's really tiring or, let's say, boring, as I was saying before. The stories are not, the Mahabharata, the story of the Mahabharata, the war, there's nothing boring about it, right? I mean, when you hear about heads flying and arms, and how can it be boring, And blood, and after all, that's what everybody wants. I came on the plane, and every time I go on a plane, I sit down, and everyone's got the screen on. I'm looking at the whole thing, and almost every screen, guns, demons, fast cars, and then going real fast, bumping into things, and then slow motion. And that lands in the river. Crashes through a few glasses, things like that. So everyone's really into the passion, into the rajas, isn't it? But in the end, after the rajas is over, you want to rest, isn't it? Rajas should bring on rest at the end. And if it's just rajas, I want to tell you, I really enjoyed the Narasingha Avatar movie that went out, Prabhu. I forget Prabhu's name. He did a good job. My only critique is that give us some areas of rest, Like, it was so... it was like you were taking sugar and sugar and sugar and sugar. Need a little break. So the Bhagavatam does that. You know how it does it? Very poetically. Tells you a story of battles like the Varaha Avatar. It's really, since we're talking about the pig, earlier on. Very exciting. The details that are given, But then after that, you have a little bit of a break. The two sages come together and they're sitting down. That's so-and-so Uvacha, and so-and-so Uvacha. And this Uvacha group said Uvacha about that Uvacha group. And it keeps going. Keeps going on like that. There's little breaks in between, which everybody needs, Just like, say, even for us, our sadhana is all about chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. But if we were to do 64 hours a day, you read the annals, the early days, Prabhupada said 64 rounds, and people are doing it. And said, Prabhupada compromised. He said, okay, well, just bring it down to 32. 32 became 16. He said, that's it. No more compromise, right? And it was found that devotees need different services, varieties of services. So Prabhupada started the Life Membership Program. He started this program, book distribution, kirtan, learning how to cook, looking after deities. He came up with so many different things to do. And then what about the 9 practices of devotional service delivered to us by Prahlad Maharaj? Wasn't that a great idea? He told his father, I'm busy with 9 things every day. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaran. Hiranyakashipu wanted to hear something different. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Hiranyakashipuanam. But he got something that he didn't want to hear. Hearing, chanting, remembering, praying to, etc. The 9 processes of devotional service, just to give a little variety. Okay. Now, one of the best cuisines in the world, no doubt, it comes from India. Everybody knows how crazy people are about Italian food, right? How many people are crazy about Chinese food? How many, without the dogs and cats? How many people are crazy about like Greek food, and maybe some Japanese food? There's a lot of diversity there, but you're not going to find the same diversity as the Indian cuisine. There's so many different tastes and flavors and colors. I want to tell you my travels. One of the places that I traveled to was Fiji. And this might make you jealous. But Fiji has sabjis that you don't have here. Now I heard some people go, oh. I don't know if it was a good oh or a bad oh. But yeah, there's sabjis there. So I'm a Swami. The problem with being a sannyasi is that everyone always lays down food on you, right? And in Fiji, it's like a thali, like this, with about 25 katoris full of different items. That's just one thali. There's another one to come, or 3, And so the problem with, I asked Kadambakananda Maharaj, I said, what do you do, Maharaj? This before he passed away. When you have, people are having you take all this prasad, I said, well, bring lots of disciples. So so much variety there, isn't it? So many tastes and smells, sweet to pungent to sour to this to that. And the colors are just unbelievable. How some people can't be on a vegan, vegetarian diet, it just doesn't. It surprises me how it could be like that. So variety is the spice of... Who said light first? Didn't I already give you one? Yes. Oh, give it back. Okay. Variety is, just remember masala, that we have going for ourselves. Some diversity. And here's the other thing. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavatam also, it keeps coming up, unity and diversity, this concept, the theme of oneness but difference at the same time. Okay, I'm looking around the room here, and I see you're all, each and every one of you has a different look. Prabhu, you look different from him. He's very smart, okay. And you're smarter? I look at the 2 different genders. It's very different. They complement each other so nice. I look at this young guy here. He's very young, and, it's different. It's nice. But, before time, everything will happen, Hare Krishna. And so it's nice to see the diversity. Otherwise, again, everything becomes bland. Now, Krishna makes sure that in the execution of our seva, our service, there is diversity. Because when you try to do something, you're trying to serve someone, and then there's a hurdle or something stopping you in the way. Now you have to use your brain. What can I do to fix it so that I get back to my task that has to be done? Everything needs to be in gear. Everything needs to be operating, right? The heart and the brain, I think those are the 2 most important muscles in our bodies, the heart and the brain. Let's go back to the point that Prabhupada made back in, before he was leaving us, he had this discussion with Giriraj Maharaj, he was a brahmachari at the time. And he said, how do you think this movement will carry on? That's Prabhupada's question to Giriraj, who had so much faith and love in. And Maharaj was giving some answers like, well, we have to pay a lot of attention to our sadhana and make sure our chanting is very pure and things like that. He was giving devotional answers. Well, Prabhupada didn't like that. He didn't want devotional answers. You know why? Because the devotion was already there. It's already there. Prabhupada wanted to see that good organization and use of intelligence, because it wasn't utilized so much. That's why. So that's how we can move forward in our Krishna consciousness, see how we can apply what we've been reading, what we get, our message every day from the Bhagavatam is, what relevancy does it have to my life, Is it just a story? I'll tell you a nice story on my third walk across Canada. It was a dreary day, overcast. The wind was quite strong, and a person pulled over. He was in a really fancy sort of pickup truck, and this is in the state, the province of Saskatchewan. Has anybody ever heard that before? You've heard Saskatchewan? Really? Have you been there before? You go every year to Saskatchewan? I better talk to you. There you go. Here's another one. Yeah. So this fellow, he pulled over and he said, would you like a ride? And I said, well, I'm not taking any rides. I'm in my dhoti and kurta and everything like that. I'm not taking any rides. I'm walking across Canada. I'm going to the other side. I'm going to the East Coast, to Newfoundland, where this Titanic sank. And then, and he said, well, okay, that's great that you're doing that. I was thinking about, I was dabbling with Buddhism. He thought I was Buddhist. People always think I'm Buddhist. Dabbling with Buddhism, but I gravitate back to the culture that I was raised in, like Christianity. But I'm not sure about Christianity because they have some pretty wild stories, And he said, you mean like the guy with the big boat? And he brought the giraffe in, the male and female giraffe, and then the elephants, and then the snakes, and there was a big devastating storm, and everything was flooded and destroyed. And then, you mean like that kind of story, Noah's Ark? And he said, yeah, that kind of story. I'm not sure if I believe that, Therefore, I have doubts about Christianity. And then I said, well, if you want to hear some wild stories, you should check out our Bhagavatam. Some real wild stories there. Is that right? He says. I said, well, here's the thing. You could take these stories as myth or truth. It could be fact or fancy. It doesn't really matter. But behind every falsity, behind every mythological, there's truth in it. So the truth is the essence, and it's the essence that you have to get to. That's what's important. So I explained that the essence is something that we call bhakti, devotion. So the stories are there to enhance. You can believe it's real or not. Some people question, was there really 5 Pandavas? Was there really a Krishna? Well, get to the essence here. Let us serve the Supreme Personality. Let's serve God, with all our heart. Man mana bhava mad bhakto majaji mang namaskuru. Then get to the essence, and then you'll get somewhere, So this is what the Bhagavatam does. It should enhance our interest to serve nicely. Service is the ultimate thing. There's nothing greater than service. It's what sustains us. It's either that or self-serve. Be demanding. And that never, you start to lose all your friends, right? But you keep your friends and you make more friends when you serve others. Isn't it like that? So I was at the Delhi airport yesterday. I don't want to tell you what I went through, but I needed some help. My luggage is in, I'm not going to give you the gory details, But do you think you get help? You know, I mean, I had to be like a dramatist. Please, you know, I'm from another country. I need help. My luggage is in there. You won't let me go in there. And of course, I noticed there's a lot of airport authorities that are just sitting there, like sipping their tea, like, and taking their sweet little time. Can't somebody help out a poor little sannyasi from Canada? You know? So, you know, I guess service is missing sometimes. Service is missing. And if we can be convinced that if I give, I will receive. But if I always take, I will be losing everything. I think I'm gaining, but I'll be losing everything. You know, you just check it out. Check out the lifestyle. So anyways, that's what I want to say in regards to this. We have some great personalities that are mentioned here. Parashara Muni gave us the definition of what is Bhagavan. Bhagavan Uvacha. It's throughout the entire Bhagavad Gita, right? It's not Krishna Uvacha. Don't call me a demon for saying that. It's Bhagavan Uvacha. And Bhagavan is Krishna, of course. There's no difference here. But Parashara Muni is credited for many things. So I just want to say thank you very much. And if I said anything that you liked, you can repeat right now. Or if you said something that you're doubting, you can also say that. And if you're very much disagreeing in something, there's a lot of back alleys. We can work it out around here. All right. So who will be the first person to ask a question? Anywhere in the room. Is it time for questions? Questions? No? I'm only hearing crickets. Or at least I'm hearing some air AC or something going on. Any comments? Well, you can just say something like, I liked when you said blah, 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 and then we can dwell on it a little bit. Okay, Prabhu. Whoa, did you see that? Very good. Cricket. Mike.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for such an amazing lecture. I had a question that why did you walk all across the Canada and like what was the need?
Purpose?
Yeah,
What was
purpose behind it?
Thank you for asking the question. There are many reasons for walking across Canada. One was that in '96, devotees are celebrating Prabhupada's centenary year, and so I thought I'd do a special gift. Another one is I have a love for my country, so I want to see my country close up. Another reason is I want to do it the sannyasi style, not by jet or train. I want to do it the walking style, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sound familiar? You know, and also, you know, temple food is very rich, so I want to get away from the temple food. And I just want to have a good workout, you know, and get a chance to meet people. Very important thing. And another thing, let me just tell you internally, in ISKCON, we didn't have such good press around that time in the early 90s. So I thought, let me go out and do something that's noble, where people can hear, oh, there's a Hare Krishna monk, and he's walking across Canada, and he's doing it for our country, he's doing it for us, you know, so we can be in a better position. The year before, a big chunk of Canada was thinking about separating Quebec. That was the name of the province, and then I thought, no, maybe my walking will get us more centered on what's really important. So I just want to encourage people in spiritual life. I wanted to encourage the walking culture. So right there, I gave you about 10 reasons why I walked. Okay? Is that good enough? Jai. And you can also walk. We don't walk enough. Everyone's just in a bloody car and killing each other. Yeah? So That's why we walked across Canada and a few other countries. It's to get connected to the people and to the environment and to learn vairagya, some detachment. It's hot out, it's cold out, it's rainy, it's snowy. The bugs are eating you alive, you know. Just kind of go through it and learn detachment from the world. Those are good reasons, aren't they? Aren't they? Thank you. Haribol. Let's hear him for his question. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the wonderful class. Prabhu, since you are doing a lot of dramas in the festivals in the temple, so we also kind of try to perform dramas here in BCEC. My question to you is, how do you inspire devotees to volunteer for drama? So in the classes we hear, we should focus on our sadhana, we should focus on menial services, right? Drama is one service where you have to come onto the stage and kind of perform, right? So devotees are a little shy in terms of coming on the stage. So how do you kind of inspire people to participate in drama?
Well, you're talking about shyness. How do you get people to overcome self-consciousness?
Yes.
Well, when you're doing dramas together, it's not just you. It's other people coming up there, normally. I like to work with groups. And so that's one motivation. And young people like to show off a little bit. Here's your chance. Here's your opportunity, right? Because they have something to show. Right? And so you just have to motivate them. Listen, this is good for you. And it help you overcome your self-consciousness. It might help you to come across and do a delivery, a presentation, learn how you diction, articulation. Just learn how to stand. Like, it's really important to know how to communicate with people and do a presentation. I do not claim to be a scholar or pundit by any stretch. But I try to deliver by looking at you. That's why I asked this table, get it out of here, it's a wall. Okay, so that I can be open to you, right? And just this expression of openness. I can also give a class and I can talk about the Bhagavatam and the 10 avatars. And I can be very spiritual and very inward. But if I do it like that, you know, how many people are going to stay awake? You know? So there's a way to get people excited, right? And I guess you could just explain the positive things. Now, the best thing about getting into a drama, and especially for young people who are a little self-conscious, listen, you have a chance to get out of your skin. You have a chance to be somebody else, another actor. It's like your Atma must come out of your body and enter into the body of Kamsa or Sita. You know, you can be somebody else for a change, you know? And it really helps you to understand the rationale behind another character. I mean, they do this kind of therapy in prisons sometimes. Yeah, they recently made a movie in America with all these prisoners, and they got them to be in a drama, you know? So it helped to bring down the anger issues some of the inmates had. It helped them so much to say, hey, we did a story, it built up camaraderie, teamwork. It's all about teamwork. It's not about you know, in the show, here I am, I'm the greatest star. It's much more about we told a story together that helped to transform the audience. So I guess we can do that. But I think what we need to do is step up and management, if you don't mind management. Give all the support to the dramatists, you know? You do that. Okay, thank you. I'll give you another one. All the support to the dramatists. Make it a nice production, you know? Something that we're really proud of. And make it relevant. You know, you don't have to necessarily repeat Shastra verbatim. You speak it in a language that people will understand. People will see the drama, oh my God, that's me. right? Does that help a little bit? Okay. The biggest problem I found in my travels around the world is that people are not showing up on time. And they peter out after a while. They got to take it seriously. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was into the dramas. Lord Sri Krishna was into dramas. You know, like everybody that we know, all the great avatars were, you know, Prabhupada. What about that? So we take it seriously and present it real nicely so that it won't come across as some kind of a buffoonery has to be taken seriously. Good, thank you. Did I give you one already? Oh, I was bad. Okay, anybody else there? We got a gentleman with his arm way up there, Prabhu, in the back. Pass the microphone. We can chant 64 rounds before it gets there. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Swamiji Maharaj, for all these teachings. You had mentioned that behind every mythology, there is a truth.
Yes.
Now, if it's actually truth behind all these mythology, then why don't we call it as a factology or maybe a truthology? Because we Indians, we are raised up to all these stories of all these mythological elements right from our birth. And we believe that and we know that it is the truth. But then if it's actually the truth behind this mythology, why don't we term it as a factology or maybe a truthology? I mean, because mythology has myth, the word in it. Mm-hmm. And when we say myth, it is associated with something which is not factual.
Yeah, we don't have to call it mythology.
Right. So that's what my confusion.
People, they label our stories as mythology.
Exactly.
Whereas, like, I mean, this is the Western world, the Christian world in particular, or the Judaic world. They'll call our stories mythology, but not theirs. And then people say about Greek stories, which is more or less, to me, a copycat of what Indian, theological stories. They're also called mythology. They're labeled like that. So I think that we can turn things around and call it factology, if you will. Right. Yeah. But we have to tell them the truth, because a lot of people are non-believers. People believe in science, right. and not in these stories. They don't believe in faith or religion so much. But what our job is to make it the synthesis, Science and spirituality come together. They do. They are very compatible. They could have, it's the best marriage ever.
Absolutely.
Get the banquet hall together. So really I think our job is to present some factual, to say these are facts. Prabhupada so many times says, it is a fact. And when he says that, you get a little jolt. Okay, all right. He was very determined. He was very confident, right? So let's confidently speak. Let's confidently present. Because for hundreds of years, people have been they have been oppressing our culture. It's time for it to turn it around.
Right.
And people are starting to see that for the first time. India's got something great to offer to the world.
Certainly.
And at the same time, India can also look to other parts of the world and learn how to clean up the garbage. Hare Krishna. We can learn from each other. That's the point.
Right.
Is that okay, Prabhu?
Thank you so much.
I won't be able to do it.
I shall come and receive it.
Yeah, come on over. Anybody else? This is good. You're doing good. Okay, great. Okay, Prabhu. Woo! Okay, but we have two more hands. Okay, 3 more hands. We'll go to the Mataji, the one who received a garland.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sometimes we, as you said, we should do service to other people, mankind, or animals, be kind towards animals. But my question is, to what level should we do the service so that the opposite person doesn't take undue advantage of my service? And what is the threshold that I should stop the service as the opposite person is not reacting in the same way or is not treating me in the same way? What should be the threshold? Yes,
Well,
can you
I would
explain
say maybe this will answer your question. Say you're giving to someone and you're not getting the reciprocation. Okay, keep up the giving, but maybe it has to be somebody else.
Can you repeat it, please?
I was just saying, if you're giving to someone and there isn't much reciprocation, then keep up the giving propensity, keep up the propensity to give, but just direct it somewhere else.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You know, I mean, you can lead a horse to water. If they don't go for the water, what are you going to do? So I think that devotees, everyone wants reciprocation because it's dadati pratigrinati. It's a give and take. So when you give, you expect something, you know?
But sometimes I think I'm not giving to the person, but I'm giving to the Godhead Himself. So He's receiving.
That's a good mentality. That's a good one
He's
to have.
receiving, but the person, because I cannot give him directly, the opposite person is a chance. I get a chance to serve direct to the Lord by serving the opposite person. But sometimes I cross my limits and I overdo it. I give too much. And at the end of the day, I'm exhausted. Yeah, I have really given too much and I have not given that time. Instead, I should have given to myself.
Well, so therefore, I believe it's reasonable to say I'm waiting for a response. If sometimes people, if they could even reject you, oh, don't give me that. At least, well, thanks for reciprocating.
Thank you so much.
I just don't give up the giving side of things and take your break that you need. Take a break. Just like we were talking about this Rajas
Right
constant
now, I'm
drive.
on a break actually.
You're on a break right now?
Yes, right
okay.
now.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that I'm part of it.
Yes, and I'm enjoying the break also.
I'm glad we're all part of it. Yeah. You know, I mean, you can't change our nature, which is to give, but there also has to be some reciprocation. Just like we see that when you're a parent, it's 20 years plus you're giving to a child, right? You're hoping that if we live in a real culture, that 20 years of their life, they'll reciprocate when you can't function so well. You know, that has to be seriously looked at. We have to look at our elders. We have to look and see, am I really giving to them what they gave to me? There has to be that, dadati pratigrinati. And there's a famous song, before I became a devotee, I loved to listen to Motown music. It was happy music. So there's one that goes like, can't hurry, love, no, you just have to wait. Play the game of give and take. So that's the philosophy of life. Give and receive, give and receive, you know. And if some people are not responding very well, just give it to where you're going to get something so that you'll be able to keep going, you know. That's a good point, though. I like it very much. And again, I'm glad we're part of your restfulness. Okay, somebody else we had here. Oh, which one? I'm confused. Yes.
So recently, I was reading in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam about how to control the mind. And in Prabhupada's, all the purports, at the end, they focus on chanting Hare Krishna. So is that the crux and the conclusion of everything, chanting Hare Krishna?
There's a little more, okay? You look at chapter 17 from Bhagavad Gita, text 16, where it talks about control of the mind, you know. Prabhupada suggests very strongly to help control the mind, you dive into, he doesn't use the word dive, but let's say delve into the stories of the Puranas. That's what we've been talking about all morning. The Mahabharata, for instance. Absorb yourself in these pastimes, you know, and your mind gets hooked to those stories and those people involved. So that's one thing that really helps a lot to help control the mind. Yeah, most definitely. I mean, we can get into other details. There's certain foods you shouldn't eat. How many people eat spicy food? Spicy, hot, super hot, dragon food. Well, maybe that's something that's agitating you. Maybe you can tone it down a little bit, right? There are lots of things, lots of details that you can apply that will help you to tone down the crazy mind. You can also dovetail that rajas, beat the drum. Get a kirtan going. That's what young people do. And they're full of hormonal explosions. Right? So we have our concerts, we have our, we don't go to concerts, we don't go crazy, we don't take intoxication. But we do this kirtan stuff, this kirtan culture. Don't they have a thing called clubbing now? I'm not saying we should participate in that, but, but it's people who are just got high energy and they need to channel it somewhere. Yeah, so just know where to channel. And we got one more person here. Hello. Hi. How's it going? Haribol Prabhu.
My question was that you preach around Canada, you walk, so you generally your pace is walking only. So my question was that when I'm in a sitting position, I'm able to chant properly, means I'm able to concentrate at some extent. But when I walk, that time I'm not able to focus on the holy name. My mind deviates a lot. So wanted some trick or hint while walking if I'm chanting. So how can I concentrate on the holy name?
Say it louder.
So my question was, while walking, how we can concentrate on the holy name?
Chant louder. Say it louder. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It'll keep the bears away. There's no hard and fast rule for chanting. Like some people got a lot of fire and they have to walk. You can't tell them to sit down and behave. Sit down behaving is very good for old people. And sometimes young people. But while you have time, you're young, you like to sit down and do japa, but you have to make sure you complement it by being active as well. Do some exercise, do some physical work at the same time. Don't just sit down and be a bump on the log. We started some exercises after the Bhagavatam class, before taking Prasadam. Just 15 minutes in Canada. It makes a big difference, Because our lifestyle could be a little bit, it could be a little bit like that. So we have to get a nice balance. So some people, Bhakti said, Saraswati Maharaj, he used to pace when doing japa. Prabhupada did too, to some degree. But some people are their energy is a little bit different. So they like to sit down. And I think we need to do that too. Take some breaths in between, do a little pranayam, and it helps. But, just make sure you balance your day very nicely. Some of us are doing this all day. Isn't it? How many people are doing that? How many people have a screen in front of them? And then you do, where's the action? When are you getting your physical work? Is everybody doing cricket every day? So you really have to look at your time management situation and make sure you balance it. Otherwise, we'll all get fat and ugly real fast. Is that okay? Does that answer the question? Let's be practical. It's just a practical thing. Yes, you can do some sitting down, chanting down. We can also do some walking and then sit down again. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Variety is the spice of life. Haribol. Thank you. This is for all of you. I want to thank you. What a nice team you have here. Really appreciate it so much for listening to me. I understand you're probably all quite scholarly, and I just said a few simple things, and I hope it didn't bore you too much. Haribol. So I guess what we can do, here, let's do some yoga. Okay, sit down, back, neck, and head erect in a straight line. Look dull, no emotions, no smiles. Stop it. Don't smile. Don't smile. Put your hands to the side. Raise them up. Bring the two palms together. Now lower the two palms and project your two thumbs to hit the forehead. Now take those two thumbs and slide them off your forehead and ski slope off your nose and land on your lips. Fan open your two palms like this. Run your thumbs along the lips. Curve upwards. Hare Krishna. It's called facial yoga.
Hare Krishna. Let's thank Bhaktimarga Swami Maharaj. Once chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Vanchakal. Here. Wait. Get this going first. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha vaishnavebhyo namo namaha vaishnavebhyo namo namaha namo namaha namo namaha aha